Kate was here. Let's talk about eggs. 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 Egg freezing. After like 5 years of thinking about it, reading articles, blogs online, talking to my doctors about it, I finally did it. I had my eggs frozen. I was under the care of Dr. Angela Aguilar, who's been my gynecologist since 2004. And she's also one of the fertility specialists of CARMI, Center for Advanced Reproductive Medicine and Infertility in St. Luke's Hospital, Bonifacio Global City. I decided to blog and vlog about my experience because when I was Googling and searching the interwebs, I found only 1 or 2 homegrown Filipino women who talked about egg freezing. You'll find a lot of forums and discussions about IVF or IUI, but not much about elective egg freezing in the Philippines. Let me give you a little background on myself. I'm a happily single 30-something Filipino woman, and honestly, at the rate I'm going, I feel like I'll be in my 40s when I'm finally ready to have my own kids. Maybe I'll meet my lifelong partner at a later age, or maybe never, and that's okay. There's a growing community called Single Moms by Choice, SMBC, and I'm really considering that. I am aware of the risks, the pros, and the cons of egg freezing. I know that there's no 100% guarantee that I'll produce a child from this. Statistics show that you will lose a lot of eggs in the process, and I know that. I accept that. If this doesn't work out, if something happens to my eggs in the future, you know what, I'll consider other options like adoption, surrogacy, or maybe I'll just be the crazy cat dog lady who lives in the forest forever. But for my peace of mind, I want this option covered so that my 40-something self will have no regrets. Visit my blog, katewashere.com, for part 1, the story of how I got to this decision. This is actually part 2, the video diary of my egg freezing experience. Day -18, 18 days before day 0. I went to St. Luke's Hospital in Bonifacio Global City for my initial blood tests, such as CARMI infection screening package, anti-malarian hormones, complete blood count, and blood typing. Hello, I've been waiting for my period to arrive. I thought it was gonna come on September 8th, but I guess I miscalculated because I waited for days for it to arrive. And today, September 10, it finally arrived, which means I have to rush to St. Luke's to get another blood test, yes, another blood test, before we start the procedure this week. Day 1, follicle monitoring, also known as transvaginal ultrasound, to see my ovaries. My doctor saw 13 potential follicles. Yay! She also calculated my dosage for gonal F injections, which I have to inject subcutaneously every day.
Can you do this by yourself, or do you want...
I can do it by myself, I think.
Or do you want to come back here and have Mitch do it?
No,
for
my
you?
cousin who's a nurse will do it. Taking a video for her.
Kita mo, ma'am. Game na. 1, 2, 3.
Ow!
Maliit lang yan.
Ow! I took home several boxes of gonal pens to be stored in the fridge, and since I wasn't allowed to have coffee, I started having caffeine withdrawal symptoms. Extreme headaches. Hello, it's day 2 of my gonal, right? Gonal injection. And I can't do it myself, so I have my cousin, Teta, who's a nurse. She's gonna help me do the injection, and then I have to do it in 2 vials, so the second one I can see if I can do it myself. Okay, go. So I have to inject 1 inch away from the belly button. Can I pinch it?
Yes, you can pinch. Pag you'll do it on your own.
I have to pinch
you
it.
have to pinch it with 1 hand, and then.
No, but no.
That's it.
I don't know if I can do it. I can't do
You'll
it.
do the next shot.
I can't.
Sige.
I'll cut muna. Wait.
Open it first.
I open it, right?
Yes, open it na.
Oh. And then straight.
Then straight. And then screw it a little.
Going down, diba? And if it's tight,
Yan. You can open na.
Wait lang!
Sige.
I have to clean the,
Clean it
the
again.
skin with alcohol. You know, yung ibang girls that I met who are doing this, it's so easy for them. Ganyan!
Okay.
Fudge!
Then you can use your other hand if you like.
That's it,
Pwede
right?
mong bitawan. Yes.
How do I know if I got all the way?
Yes. Okay.
I did it. Pero can you come back tomorrow? You do it again. I can't do it. So now I feel the tingling. It's like I have ants crawling down my tummy. Yun yating, that's the medication taking effect now. So yeah, just wanted to share with you. Day 3, back to St. Luke's for blood tests in the morning and follicle monitoring in the afternoon to see if the hormones are working. My doctor saw only 10 follicles this time, which made me sad because I thought I lost 3 eggs. She told me to stop overthinking the follicle count because it's not going to determine how many eggs they'll actually retrieve on the final day. The nurse injected gonal for me because I chickened out of doing it on my own. I took home more boxes of gonal pens. Day 4, my mom and I were on the road, so I injected myself with gonal while stuck in traffic. Don't worry, my mom was driving and I did it on my own. Yay! Day 5, I injected myself with gonal at home. My doctor told me to avoid stress and extreme exercise, but I continued to walk my dogs every day. Then I started to feel guilty, like what if I lost the eggs because I walked my dogs? So my anxiety level increased. Day 6. I just found out that my doctor found 17 potential eggs. That's a good number. So whenever I go to CARMI at St. Luke's, I feel like I'm in school again because I have a little lunchbox. It's my cooler. And let me show you what's inside. Ta-da! I went to the grocery, so I had to put the parsley somewhere cool, so I put it in my cooler, but that's not what's inside every day. Okay. My gonal, which I inject every day. And then I have my stash of more gonals, depending on what my doctor says. And then I have a new thing that I need to inject. It's, what is it? Centrotide. But I know I'm not allowed to do this on my own, so I got my cousin to help me. She's gonna inject this tomorrow. Yeah, so there's ice to keep everything cool. And I know this is... yogurt, my baon. Well, in case I get hungry while waiting for my doctor. But yeah, usually it's just the medication there. Hello, it's day 7, and we are starting on Centrotide. It's intramuscular, which means I can't do it myself. So I enlisted the help of my cousin, who's a nurse. You do it. Thank you, Tata.
Yes, no problem.
She's a registered nurse, top of her class. Free promo. Top of her class, one of the best nurses in Cavite City. So if you need a private nurse, just call her. I won't look. No, I won't look. No. And you... My hair,
Yeah,
sorry.
your hair.
So much hair. And
And then relax your arm.
relax my... How do you relax?
Relax. Then wait.
I'm not relaxed. Should I put my hand?
It's okay.
Basta, just tell me to breathe. I hate you. I hate needles. Tagal!
Okay.
I'm dizzy again.
Okay.
I just had I'm dizzy.
Mabigat.
And then you need
No. Yung medicine after.
I feel like I had a shot of vodka. And we're gonna do this every day.
Alternate.
So alternate tomorrow here, tomorrow. Okay, bye guys. I'm dizzy. See you tomorrow. Day 8. Follicle monitoring, gonal, and Centrotide at CARMI in St. Luke's. They counted 19 follicles in my ultrasound, but the doctor said only 15 might make it. September 19, day number 9. Hello, it's September 20th, day 10. I feel the serum tingling down my arm as... Ow. Ow. And so, how many days to go? 3 days to go. Yeah. I can't wait for it to be over because I'm so tired of injecting every day. So, hello. It's September 21. Day 11, I had a super long day at St. Luke's Hospital. I was there as early as 6 a.m. to get my blood test. Waited 6 hours for the blood test results, and then waited for my doctor to check the results. At 5:30 p.m., I had my final dose of Gonal and Cetrotide. And then at 9:30 p.m. later, I need to get these two done. My cousin, who's a nurse, is not available tonight, so she referred me to her friend who's also a nurse. I'm gonna have these injected. They call this the HCG, also known as the trigger shots. Something that I need before the final procedure on Monday. So tomorrow, September 22, day 12, it's a free day for me. Just rest, no needles, no poking, no injection, just rest, finally. Day 13, egg retrieval day. I followed the prep list, arrived at the hospital at 8:30 a.m. with my mother, filled up some forms, and got dressed in a hospital gown. The nurse placed an IV drip, and I was wheeled into the operating room. I had a whole team: my fertility specialist, Dr. Aguilar, a cardiologist, anesthesiologist, embryologist, and a nurse. The last thing I remember telling them as the anesthesia was kicking in was, "Get them all out of me now, please!" So, how many eggs did they get from my ovaries? Well, from what I read in the forums and blogs, the average number of eggs women produce in one round of egg freezing is 10 to 15. The ideal number for a high success rate is 20 to 30 eggs, but that's expected only for women in their 20s. For women in their 30s, expect around 15 eggs, and even lower if you are in your 40s or if you have a hormonal disorder. So you can imagine, there I was, sleeping, well, kind of sleeping in the hospital bed, groggy from anesthesia, when the nurse comes up to me and she goes, "I got 27 eggs. 27 eggs. This 30-something dragon got 27 eggs." So that's a lot of eggs. That's more eggs than I brought in this shoot. I was so happy. So I went back to Dr. Aguilar a few days later, and then she said, okay, out of the 27 eggs, 3 did not make it. 3 are called germinal vesicles. They cannot be used later on. So I have 24 viable, healthy eggs now frozen in CARMI St. Luke's. And I'm happy. And now for the $1 million question. How much does egg freezing cost in the Philippines? Well, in CARMI St. Luke's, egg freezing goes between 400 to 450,000 pesos. Yeah. The total bill will depend on your reproductive health and your overall health. In my case, I paid a total of 412,319 pesos and 83 centavos. Visit katewashere.com to see the breakdown of expenses. So, my fellow Pinays, if you're considering egg freezing, I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, fill up the comment section. I will release part 3 where I respond to all of your questions about egg freezing. In the meantime, subscribe to my blog, katewashere.com, follow me on Facebook at KH Alvarez, and Instagram at Replicate. Thanks for watching!